Hey, it's the Empire, Dubois Empire, Backstreet Boxing. Now, man, my boy Danny Dubois is making his heavyweight debut in the good old USA. And I had a suspicion he was going to make his US debut, man, but he's making his US debut against a shockingly good opponent. Um, the kid he's going to be fighting has an extremely high knockout ratio, right? He's an American, but he has a Sicilian heritage, and that's Joe Cusumano. And he's a really big deal, man. The guy, like I said earlier, he has an extremely high knockout ratio, coming in at 19 wins, 17 knockouts, with only 3 losses, and all those losses are by decision, not by knockout. So this guy has a solid chin, and yeah, man, this guy, um, they say he's born in Virginia, but this guy is draped with the Italian flag, and he reps Italy, right? They call it, this kid's nickname is the Sicilian. And if you look at his hair and stuff like that, the guy has, the typical Italian style. Not to be prejudiced, but it looks like his hair is done with olive oil. It's a little too fresh. My boy Joe, Cusumano, it's throwback for sure. He's 33 years old, right? Coming in at 6'4". Now they don't show his reach, so there's a lot of unknown factors about this fighter. You got to do the eye test and see how good this guy really is. But understand that this is a really big fight for Danny Dubois, and this can go left for him or it can go right for him. But if you try to look up the fighter he's fighting, it's hard to find a lot of stats on the kid. Reach. Just fights, and that's the hardest kind of fighter to fight because you don't have a lot of film study on a guy. So this is going to be definitely one of those fights where Danny Dubois is going to have to make adjustments if the fight happens, or when the fight happens. Danny Dubois, he's shown that he can't really make adjustments against an elite level fighter. He had problems with George Joyce's jab, and he didn't really move around the ring. In this fight, and then for Danny Dubois, I'm going to see if he can make his own adjustments. We all know Danny Dubois can come forward. We all know he can swing and knock guys out. But can he make adjustments defensively? We don't know. I have never seen Danny Dubois be a defensive fighter and decide to just box, move around the ring. Hopefully we can see another former Danny Dubois, and he doesn't just bull run his way through a fighter, because we already know he get hard. But what happens when you fight a guy who happens to know what you're gonna throw, and he knows how to counter you? What you're gonna do. So we're gonna see how this whole thing plays out with Danny Dubois. I'm glad they're moving him extremely fast. Now, if you look up this guy, I always call him Joe. If you look at him up in BoxRec, he's actually like the #1 ranked fighter in America. That's according to BoxRec. So this is a big deal for Danny Dubois. And, this is not a slow pacing moving career anymore. At this point, after he took the L with George Joyce, there's no point in moving him slow. You should only put him in big name fights. And I knew, I talked about in the video, how he should come to America now. I mean, there's no reason to stay there in the UK. Come to America and fight these type of American fighters. Get the UK behind you. Do something like an Amir Khan, right? When he came over here and fought Zab Judah and beat Zab Judah, or beat Paulie Malignaggi. Those are big deals for Amir Khan. And he became a star because he came to America. Sometimes you don't need to be undefeated to you become a star in the sport of boxing if you're from a foreign country. Now, that being said, man, Frank Warren is definitely gonna have. Frank Warren's in the business of making money, and to make money in boxing, if you're not undefeated, you got to have your guy fight the best. And Danny Dubois is on that road to be fighting the best of the best. That being said, man, like I said earlier, Amir Khan, he had a loss before he came to America, right? He lost to Breedis Prescott by knockout, right? But he came to America. He fought, the top fighters. First, he started with Marcus Padana, But you know what I mean. Or it was actually Paulie Malignaggi. That was his first fight in America, but he destroyed Paulie Malignaggi, and that was basically the beginning of his career. You know, coming to America, beating top fighters, and that was a local, right? So man, we're gonna see how Dane Dubois does it, but this is a really big deal for him and his step in his career. But like I said earlier, there's a lot of unknown factors with Joe, so we're gonna see how this whole thing plays out. But this is gonna be a hard fight for Dane Dubois. I think it's gonna be his toughest fight of his career because I've seen this guy's knockouts and I've seen how he fights. He's really aggressive. He has great combinations and he has a solid chin. And you know, like I said earlier, 19 wins, 17 knockouts. So all of his losses are by decision. Understand that, you know, when this guy is fighting, he has, you know, these aren't championship level fights. So these are fights that don't go 12 rounds. So yes, he's losing a decision, but understand that who knows what would happen if these were 10-round fights or 12-round fights. I'm sorry, you know. So that being said, this is gonna be a really good fight, man. I don't know what's gonna happen in this fight. Hoping Dane Dubois wins it, but you never know, man. This is boxing, baby. Just when you think a guy's too good and he walk through everyone, boxing shocks you, man, and puts you back in reality, much like Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz, you know. So that being said, we're gonna see how this whole thing plays out, man. Let me know you guys feel about it, though. You guys think it's a big fight? I do. Dane Dubois coming to America. Big things, big things. Let me know you guys feel about it, though. Like, comment, subscribe. It's the Empire. Dubois Empire. Peace.